Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Right, that was a little opener for this evening's concert to get the organ working, get all the systems running, making sure that everything is working, doing what it should be doing, and it's all clear. We seem, ladies and gentlemen, to be getting it right so far. Splendid, wonderful. No hiccup so far. We have, all cameras seem to be working, or well, both cameras seem to be working. I still haven't sorted out my lighting situation for up from top, so until I get that sorted, there will be no overhead camera, but we're getting there. I think I've found a solution. Anyway, hopefully for next week. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm joking. Of course, welcome to Sunday night is organ music night. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are having, we're having a travel theme. Shall we travel? No, we're having a means of travel theme. We're going to be traveling around the world, looking at different modes of transport, I suppose. We're going to be driving cars, we're going to be riding trains, we're going to be flying, we might even head for some spaceships if we get time, and all sorts of things. Very bizarre. We will be pootling about slowly, we will be racing about in fast things, and we will be, hopefully, playing some spontaneous requests. I hope so. So I've got a program, ladies and gentlemen, an actual program, and we're going to start it with a piece of music that's actually got nothing to do with, hello, can you open please? This is my face, yes. It's the only one I've got. Don't know why it doesn't accept my face, but I think this is rather cute. Now, I came up with this idea for two reasons, and I'll tell you them throughout this evening. But the other night, it was Women's Day on Friday, remember that? And I was saying, oh, we need music by women composers. And my friend David sent me a piece of music by Dorothy Ingersoll Wall, I'm not sure how we're going to be pronouncing this, from, oh my goodness, 1909. A very old piece of music. And I thought this is hilarious. We had to play this tonight, for the only reason its title. And its title is connected to one of the most famous cars of them all, the Lamborghini Diablo. Remember the Lamborghini Diablo, that amazing, the successor to the Lamborghini Countach, if you remember. The Diablo appeared pretty much around the 90s, and anyone who was anyone fantasized about having a Lamborghini Diablo. Well, back in 1909, Dorothy Wall obviously knew that this was going to be a big thing, because she composed a piece of ragtime music simply entitled the Diablo Rag. So I'm going to dedicate it to Mr. Lamborghini, who started out building tractors and got fed up with his friend Enzo Ferrari making very fast cars, and everyone laughing at him because he only made tractors. So he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to build a sports car even better than Ferrari. He did. And to this day, Lamborghini and Ferrari are still trying to outdo each other. I'm not sure who wins these days. I suspect Ferrari's winning at the moment, but I wouldn't like to say. I've never owned either, so I wouldn't know. I have driven Ferraris, but I've never driven a Lamborghini. That's an interesting one. I will hopefully get that one day. One of those dreams. Anyway, here it is from Dorothy I.W. This is the Diablo Rag, and its subtitle is Rag Fantasy. Right. I gather, reading the chat while I was warming up this evening, that there's a fair bit of fantasy going on out there in the chat. Well, you just stop all that and concentrate on the music. See if you can pick out what key this piece of music is in, for example. the Diablo Rag. Gosh, what an interesting piece of music. I quite like that. Let's, however, ladies and gentlemen, move on to something else. We're going to stay with very, very fast cars, and we're going to dedicate this next piece of music to my nephew Cameron. It's his birthday today. It's his 21st birthday today. 21 today, and all those amazing things. Xing Shang Shong, C minor, E flat major. Correct answer. Well spotted, sir. Yes, my nephew, Cameron, is 21 today. That's not Cam Platts, by the way. He's someone completely different, and he's not 21. Maybe inside his head he is, but not otherwise, shall we say. Anyway, so it's Cameron's birthday today. They've been celebrating all day. My sister sent me some pictures, and it looked like they were having some fun. Now, young Cameron is studying to be all sorts of exciting things, and he has been looking for jobs in the, shall we say, actually in the motor racing field. How about that? He's doing his sort of engineering kind of stuff, and I think he wants to get into the world of motor racing, and who wouldn't, to be honest? So I think that's a wonderful thing. So good luck on that. I'm sure you will have some success there. Let's hope you do. And well, first of all, let's sing happy birthday. I think that's very important. So happy birthday, Cameron. How about that? Happy birthday, old boy. Yes, it's not Cameron Platt's birthday. Who said happy birthday, Cameron Platts? It's not Cameron Platt's birthday. It's my nephew Cameron's birthday today. So there you are. So anyway, so I hope you're watching. I hope you're listening. Now, we've had a request for Cameron, and this was your mother's request. So my sister requested this, and I hope I get it right. It's a piece of music I think is absolutely wonderful, and I think it's great. It's to do with very fast cars. Let's leave it at that. See what we can do. Gosh, that was fun. That was the theme to Formula One by some guy called Brian Tyler, who's got incredible hair, which I used to have. Yeah, crazy stuff. The Formula One theme. I didn't know that because I stopped watching Formula One when I was, I don't know how old. And that's the new theme for Formula One. That's amazing. What a wonderful piece of music. It's like film music score. Isn't that amazing? Amazing stuff. Well, young Cameron, I hope you get your chance and start working in the wonderful world of Formula One. That would be exciting. That would be so exciting. And yeah, you know I live very close to the Nürburgring, don't you? So, I mean, I live about 40 minutes away from the Nürburgring, which is, yeah, so, you know, what better place to come and hang out? I can introduce you to some of the folks at the Nürburgring as well. I know two. I know two of the Nürburgring guys. And actually, I hope at some point I will actually get to go and play around in the Nürburgring as part of our second channel, the Gartshore's Garage channel. That would be good fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be good fun. Exciting stuff. So there you are. Happy birthday, young Cameron. Have a wonderful day, and or have a wonderful rest of the evening. Gosh, it's late, isn't it? It's what is it? 9:37 over in the UK. So have a wonderful time. I hope you had something decent to eat, and I hope you got completely sloshed as well, because it's birthday time, so you've got to do all those wonderful things. Anyway, there we are. Right. Let's slow things down a little bit and let's go back to the 1940s and let's get away from the world of fast cars and into the world of fast trains. Now, there's a lot of train people. What is going on with this bloody thing? Stop. It turns pages when I don't want it to, and then it doesn't turn pages when I do want it to. I will never understand this technology. Very bizarre. Back to the 1940s then, and back to the wonderful world of locomotive travel, especially over in the United States, where nowadays nobody travels by train, at least not unless you're on the East Coast, but nobody travels by train anymore, which I think is a terrible shame. I once took the train from, I think I was pretty much the only person on the train. It was great fun. I took the train from Detroit to Chicago, which was a wonderful train ride, an absolutely wonderful train ride, along Lake Michigan, basically. It was really rather lovely, and stopped in places like Battle Creek, where Kellogg's started, and all that sort of stuff. Very, very lovely train journey. Anyway, and it brought this piece of music to mind for some rather bizarre reason. Now, this is one of the requests this evening we got from one of our major requests, Mr. Cameron Platts. Now, before I start speaking, I've been joined by a Mrs. Gartshore and a baby Gartshore, and I'm being told to switch the microphone off. Hold on, something's wrong. Okay, they've left. They've left. Yes, we have a little grumpy guy. Hi. Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh God. Bye bye. Say bye bye, everybody. Bye bye, bundle. Bye bye, bundle. Okay, so we're moving from Cameron, birthday boy Cameron, to our other Cameron, our Cameron Platts here. Wonderful request. I've played this many times before, and there's a wonderful joke about it. I've told that joke before, so I'm not going to tell it again. It's an old Roy Rogers joke, but I'm not going to do that again. It's a wonderful old piece of music. Harry Warren and somebody else wrote this. Mr. Gordon, I think it was. Harry Warren and somebody Gordon. I'm not sure who somebody Gordon was. Early 40s, 1940, 1941, something like that. It is, of course, the Chattanooga Choo-Choo. Pardon me, boy.
Chattanooga choo-choo. Ha, ha. Fun piece of music indeed. Yeah, I love it. Ooh, we're talking about Canadian trains. Ah, I see. Okay, good, fine. Gosh, you're talking about Canadian trains. I reckon the last time I was on a steam train was in the 70s. I think I've only been on one. Have I ever been on a steam train? I don't know. Possibly. Possibly. Slow down for a red signal. Yeah, probably. No, we had to, the points were closed. We had to wait for the points to open. If you want to do a steam train thing, it works perfectly on a theatre organ. It works good on a French style organ as well, I've decided. You don't need much. You just need a sort of a snappy trumpet. This organ has a nice, on the choir division, a nice snappy trumpet. And what you do is you grab a handful of keys down the bottom with the left hand in rhythm. And if you're playing a music piece, then you make every fourth one, every bar as it were, every fifth one, 1, 2, turn, turn. You make everyone a little bit heavier, you know what I mean? To give it a bit of rhythm. Okay? Makes sense? Yeah? And then what you want to do, to be a proper steam train, because steam trains travel across tracks, they travel across the points and things like that. So you want to get some cross rhythms in there to pretend the engine is sort of stuttering and shuffling across those things. So you go. And then you eventually slow down to stop. If you're doing it from start, it's even better. So you got the first steam, and then it sort of speeds up, and then you get the wheel spin, and then off it goes. You can use your right hand to add that rhythm, and then you're suddenly into a piece of music. Yeah, that's how the old theatre organists did it when they were doing steam trains in silent films. It's very clever. And yeah, occasionally you can do that sort of 4 against 3 tends to work quite well for some reason. I don't know why. 4 against 3 works perfectly. It sounds like trains traveling across points and tracks and things like that. It's very clever. Enough of that. Now, apparently, ladies and gentlemen, apparently there was a breach of data security today, or earlier. It couldn't have been today. Well, it must have been. Apparently it went out today, but it didn't happen today. I use Patreon to allow you to become members of the channel, as it were, for extra perks now and again and things like that. And of course, I support other people on Patreon as well. I don't just take. I also like to support other people as well. And I joined a group, or I started supporting a group of people the other day who I've been following for a long time on YouTube. I think they're hilariously funny, very, very, very good indeed. And apparently when I joined them, Patreon decided to send all my supporters that I've started supporting these people. Now, that shouldn't have happened. There's probably something in there that should be clicked and things like that. There's probably some kind of data protection settings in there. But yeah, so if you support me on Patreon, you now know that I support other people too on Patreon. But I think you can't just take. You do have to give as well. So yes, I do. I support. How many other people do I support? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 now. 7, I think. Yes. I think it's important. Creators should support each other, don't you think? I think that's the way that should work. Anyway, so. But apparently all my patrons now know that I'm supporting another group. This is an automotive group. It's a German couple, and they create wonderful automotive content. And they play around with old Land Rovers, which is hilarious. I love old Land Rovers. And they play around with them and repair them and make jokes about them not being as reliable as Toyotas, which is very funny. And they're so German, but they're so wonderful about it. This guy is like a German engineer, something like that. If he can't find the parts for the car, he actually makes them himself, and that's what I find so fascinating about it. So anyway, there you are. So you all know that I now support these people as well. So there you are. So I just thought I would mention it. But it's probably not that. It's not that important. I've got nothing to hide. I don't worry about data nonsense and things like that. I really don't care. But some people obviously do. Some people get their knickers in a twist about data. I'm not all that worried. But anyway, I shall keep an eye on it just to make sure there aren't any other breaches of data in there. But there you are. Now you know. A couple of people have been in touch to say, oh, did you know that Fraser is, and things like that. So yes, I'm well aware that I support other people. So there we have it. Good. Right. Now, what are we going to cover now? I think actually, before we get onto the other stuff, let's dig into the Brown Book of Deliciousness. Now, the guy who sent me all these books from the very beginning has requested a piece of music tonight. He's requested a specific piece of music tonight. Now, we have played this already. We've played this before. And it's a lovely one. It's got nothing to do with transport or anything along those lines. It's just a wonderful tune. It's number 52 in the little Brown Book of Magnificent Magical Goodness, and it's called The Name of Our Father. The Name of Our Father. So anyway, it's in a sort of minor, it's got a minor verse and a major chorus. It's kind of cool, and it sounds something like this. I think we can play around with this and see what the hell is going on downstairs. I heard a cat. We don't have a cat.
Did you hear that? It's a book. Oh, it's a baby book. Okay, good, that's fine. The name of our Father. It doesn't actually quite go like that. That was me jazzing it up. It sounds like a wonderful film. You know what it's film music. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like the kind of film they would shoot in the Jewish district, the Jewish jewelers district of London, right? You know, there's a scene, there's a street of 1,000 jewelers. And the street of 1,000 jewelers, and there's music there because it's sort of there's a guy in there who's a kind of it's like, remember the film Snatch? There we are, that's what I'm thinking of, the film Snatch, the Guy Ritchie film Snatch. And there was a guy who was pretending to be a Jewish diamond dealer. And that's the kind of music I've got in my mind when I see that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I think that's quite cute. I like that. I like that. Anyway, that was number 52. I jazzed it up a little bit. It shouldn't actually quite sound like that. But I think that fits tonight's little thing quite nicely, don't you? Ooh, a member. Who's this? M.A. Woodart. Ma Woodart. M.A. Woodart has joined, which means you are now eligible to use... oh God, what did I do? I pressed the wrong button. No, there it is. You can now use all our funny emojis. Can someone tell M.A. Woodart, hello, M.A. Woodart, how to use our wonderful emojis? We have all sorts of emojis for tubas and tasty beverages and cauliflower, which I hate. That's why there's a cauliflower over there. Somebody sent me that because I hate cauliflower. That's love from your supporters, isn't it? They send you things you don't like. What I should do is actually I should start saying, I don't like Cadbury's chocolate at all. I can't stand Cadbury's chocolate, particularly the 180 gram bars of dairy milk. I can't stand them. Does that make sense? Now, if we're going to talk about transport and travel and things like that, we obviously have to get out and about on the road. And if we're going to get out and about on the road, we might as well get out and about on the most famous musical road of them all. It goes from, well, let me see. If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA. So Chicago up pretty much where Nancy lives, down to LA where Aaron lives. So there you are. Most of Route 66 is still there apparently, but parts of it have now disappeared. They've been taken up by other things. More than 2,000 miles all the way. What comes next? Now you go through St. Louis and Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo. Is this the way to Amarillo? I suppose it is. Gallup, New Mexico, it says here. Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona. What have we got here? Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Gosh, won't you get hip to this timely tip when you make that California trip? Get your kicks on Route 66. When I was in Chicago many years ago, it must be 21 years ago now, I think, to 2003, something like that, when I was in Chicago. Last time I was in Chicago. I found, by accident, I stumbled across the beginning of Route 66. There's a sign marking it, signed here starts, or here's where Route 66 starts. And somewhere there's a picture of me underneath that sign. I don't know where it is. I've never seen it again. I suspect it's in an old box of stuff that got destroyed many years ago for various reasons. We won't go into that here. Let's blues it up in the key of C, and let's have some Route 66 blues. Sing along. Route 66, or at least a variation thereon. That middle bit wasn't right, was it? What key was I in there? The B flat. Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You see, Amarillo. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. There's a bar missing. Let me go back to C major because I can read in that key as well. There you go, St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. See, Amarillo, that's it. That's it. Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Boston, San Bernardino. That's it. Boom. Right. Okay. Oh well, there you are then. Sometimes you see, this is the problem. I got into trouble for slagging this off a long time ago. But it is awful. It's truly awful. There's so much crap on there that is unedited. Nobody checks it. That's the problem with it. I'm talking of MuseScore. MuseScore. It's revolutionizing blah blah blah. It's not revolutionizing everything. It's giving people the opportunity to put any old tat up on the internet in note form. Okay, it's my own fault. I didn't check it beforehand, I suppose. Yes, but you know, it's a lead sheet. You would think someone who understands jazz music would have put the lead sheet up correctly, but they didn't, and it's full of nonsense. Badly notated, spelling mistakes, chords are wrong, there's a bar missing, there's actually 2 bars missing, I discovered, and so on and so on and so on. And that's the thing, nobody's monitoring this. It might be technically wonderful, MuseScore, but the stuff that's up there is pants, and that's the only way to describe it, really. Not all of it, some of it's good, but most of it's rubbish. Anyway, rant over. I don't use it very much anymore anyway because it's so terrible. Anyway, right, enough of that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to, oh my goodness me, what's been happening here? A few tickets have been sold this evening. Gosh, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out who. Right. Our friend Stefan. Thank you, Stefan. That's very kind of you. Our friend Marketa. Oh my goodness, thank you so much as well. Gosh, students from the Czech Republic buying tickets to say thank you. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you both. Thank you. So that's from Marketa and František. Splendid. I've got something for you coming up very shortly. And now we have a selection of tickets all stuck together. What is this? Who's this? Jerry, Sunday Fun. Thank you, Jerry. Sunday Fun. I like Sunday Fun from Jerry. Jörg. Thank you very much. My friend Jörg from Switzerland. I had a lovely email correspondence with my friend Jörg from Switzerland today, and I look forward to hearing more. Splendid. Jan, thank you very much from Jan. Alexander, thank you very much to Alexander. Gerald, thank you very much to Gerald. And, oh, thank you very much to Gleiswanderer, back in the chat again. Da-da-do-do-do-dee. Okay, perfect, thank you. So he's another one that spotted the Patreon data disaster. Right, splendid. Well, thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. What are we up to there? That's, how many is that? Hold on, did I get everyone? That's Jerry, Jörg, Jan, Alexander, Gerald, and Gleiswanderer. That's 6, 7, 8. That's 8 tickets so far, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just quickly check the other stuff here. See if I'm missing anything. Ooh, gosh, what's this? Oh, the Platz Gang. Thank you very much. The Platz Gang have been active over on the wish list. Thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. That's very good because that solves my cable problem. Haha, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. Splendid. Very kind. Thank you. Right, what have we got here? Oh, Andrew. My friend Andrew has sent me, he sent me 2 pieces of music. What's this? I think we might have to use that one. Ooh, Irving Berlin at his best. Right, let's have that. Thank you, Andrew. Let's pop that in there then. Splendid, 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 yes. Right, that's that. Okay, splendid, thank you. Now, we're still waiting for something, ladies and gentlemen. If we hit 20 tickets during a concert, I'm going to get away from Hauptwerk altogether and introduce you to something else. I did it recently during a members-only tuba concert. Don't say anything if you were there. But I would like to introduce the rest of you to it as well, because it's good fun. But I'm only going to do it if we get to 20 tickets during a concert. And no, Joe, that's not 20 $1 tickets. We talked about that before. You can't get anything for $1 these days. And surely your favorite online organist is worth more than $1. Right, I am going to, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to attempt a fiendishly difficult piece of music. A fiendishly difficult piece of music from my list. Where's my list? There it is. I'm going to attempt it. I have not practiced it. I have looked at it. And sometimes looking at it and thinking about it is good enough, if you know what I mean. An old Morecambe and Wise joke. I'm looking at it and thinking about it. I've been doing a lot of that lately, and so on. Yes, anyway, never mind. So lots of the old jokes there, but yes, this is a piece of music that my friend, here we are, my friends, František and Marketa, sent to me a long time ago and asked if I would play it. And I took one look at it and went, no chance. And then I looked at it again and I listened to a recording of it and thought, well, that doesn't sound very difficult. And then I looked at the way it was written and thought, right, it is actually rather difficult, but, and here's the big but, this was written for a sort of virtuoso piano piece of music. And of course, you don't have the scope on a five octave keyboard here that you would have on an 88 key piano. However, what I do have is I have a separate keyboard for the old feet, taking care of what the left hand is up to. Now, this is a very fast piece of music with a lot of leaping around in the left hand, stride piano, lots of leaping around, which I'm all right at that. I can do some stride piano. I'm not worried about that. But the right hand is so leapy as well that both hands leaping around like that require considerable effort and practice. Two things I don't do anymore for the simple reason I'm too old. I can't. My brain just won't let me. So what I do is I take the music, I look at it, and while I'm looking at the music, I have a recording in the background playing, and I'm going, oh, right, oh, okay, oh, that sounds difficult. Let's have another look at that. Oh, that's not as difficult as I thought, and so on and so on and so on. So the end result of which will hopefully be a performance of this piece of music. Now, before we had the Diablo Rag, in its day, the Lamborghini Diablo was the fastest car in the world. However, fastest car in the world these days, well, God knows what it is these days. Everyone's trying to outdo each other, but for a very, very long time, from the early 2000s up to fairly recently, the fastest car in the world, and I'm talking car you can actually go and buy and drive on an open public road yourself, was of course by French manufacturer Bugatti. Now hold on, Bugatti, that sounds Italian. Well, yes, Ettore Bugatti was originally Italian, but he moved to France. And in Mulhouse, in the Alsace region of La Belle France, you will find the Bugatti factory and museum, and so on and so on and so on. And of course, Bugatti was a very famous name back in the 20s and 30s. This piece of music is from, I don't know, you tell me, František, when's this piece of music from? And the name Bugatti was brought back in, was it the 80s or the 90s with the EB 110? I'm being a car bore now, I know. And that was for a while the fastest car around. And then, of course, they came back once they got taken over by the Volkswagen Audi group. They introduced the Bugatti Veyron and then the Bugatti Chiron and then whatever the hell they've got out now, which is even better, I think. And they are wonderful cars. I have seen them, I have heard them. I've never gotten terribly close to one. I would love to, though. Anyway, back to the music. Jaroslav Ježek, whoever that was, a crazy Czech guy who composed jazzy music back in the day, is my guess, composed this amazing virtuosic piece of music. It's called the Bugatti Step, and there is no chance that anyone will be dancing to this. It's a kind of sort of Charleston sort of thing, but it's fast, it's furious, it's hilariously good fun, and I hope I can play it almost right. Here then is my version, or my take on the Bugatti Step. Let's get the first chord right and we might be lucky. sort of. It's incredibly difficult to do on an organ because you don't have all the keys that you need, but some of the rhythmic stuff is incredibly difficult to do. And then you get this kind of thing, which on its own sounds incredibly difficult, but it's actually, that's all it is. And in a huge acoustic like Dusseldorf, you don't hear the other. So you can sort of make it up like that. That's the kind of stuff that's difficult to do on a piano, but on the organ, you can cheat by doing this. Yeah? On the piano, it's all over the place, but you can't do that on an organ. Cheat. Anyway, fun nonetheless. Gosh. I've got it over and done with. Who's this, ladies and gentlemen? Our friend Matthias. Hello, Matthias. Thank you from Matthias. Sorry I came late. Which sample set? I just mentioned it. Dusseldorf. Lambertus in Dusseldorf. This would be an amazing organ. Now, years ago, I played this organ, the real organ in Dusseldorf. I played it for the Widor Mass. The Widor, Charles Marie Widor wrote, well, he wrote a couple of masses, but he wrote a mass for, this is hilarious, for mixed choir, male choir, and 2 organs. Designed, of course, to be sung in any large French cathedral with all its various organs. And I went on tour with that ensemble. We went to Saint-Sulpice in Paris and played the actual Widor Mass in Widor's own church in Paris. It was wonderful. When I started playing that music, did you notice that my pedal light went off? My pedal light has stopped working. Oh, that's good. I'm not having much luck with lights at the moment. That's a new light, and it's just decided to stop. Has it overheated or something? It's only been on for best part of an hour. No, it's not even warm. Oh, bloody hell. No quality left in the world these days, ladies and gentlemen. It's a disgrace. Anyway, there we have it. Right, anyway, so there we are. Maybe I should stop playing ferocious music. What I would love to play on this organ would be the Vierne Mass, which is... So I thought, I would love to play that on a huge, big French organ. Sadly, I didn't get the chance to do it, but that same group, they went to Paris a few years later. I was off doing my jazzy stuff around the world. They went to Paris again, and they played the Vierne Mass in Notre Dame. And I would have been the one playing the organ, and I didn't know. Well, first of all, I didn't know about it. But had I known, I would have been playing the Vierne Mass in Notre Dame on the Notre Dame organ. Oh my God, that would have been so amazing. The Notre Dame organ is about to reopen, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. What's this? A ticket from Monica. Thank you very much, Monica. Love your show and happy. Oh yes, that's good. There we are. Yes, now that's true actually. Monica has kindly reminded me, and I do have a piece of music for it, for the simple reason that it's a fun piece of music. This was a request the other day from, was it Yellowbird? I think it was Yellowbird. This is the kind of tune that Yellowbird would request. And today, in certain parts of the world, today is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, especially to my mother. Happy Mother's Day to my mother. And here is a very tongue-in-cheek piece of music that I would like to play. I was going to play it on Friday, but then I thought, no, I'll save it for tonight because it's perfect. Now, the contents of this piece never actually happened to me in my life, thankfully, but I do know various people to whom it has happened, and I feel very sorry for them. It's a wonderful piece of music by Ivor Novello. Remember Ivor Novello? And what makes it better is he only wrote the music. The words were written by someone called, and this, I'm sorry to all of you in the chat. I'm sorry to all of you in the chat. This is the best name ever. Words by Dion Titherage. Dion Titherage. Titherage. Dion Titherage. Dion Titherage is probably an organist somewhere in the Midwest. Yeah, playing concerts. Dion Titherage has a moustache and a fairly large belly like I do and plays concerts. I'm guessing. Dion Titherage. Isn't that a wonderful name? Anyway, back in 1921, Mr. Novello and Mr. Titherage wrote this silly piece of music, and I love it. It's called And Her Mother Came Too. It's wonderful. I shall read you the words because it's so good. I seem to be the victim of a cruel jest. It dogs my footsteps with the girl I love the best. There's obviously more. She's just the sweetest thing that I have ever known, but still we never get a chance to be alone. Refrain. My car will meet her, my car will meet her, and her mother comes too. It's a two-seater, still her mother comes too. At Ciro's, when I am free, at dinner, supper or tea, she loves to shimmy with me, and her mother does too. We buy her trousseau, and her mother comes too. Asked not to do so, still her mother comes too. She simply can't take a snub. I go and sulk at the club. Isn't that wonderful? Then have a bath and a rub. That sounds a bit naughty. And her brother comes too. That sounds very naughty. Second verse. There may be times when couples need a chaperone, but mothers ought to learn to leave a chap alone. I wish they'd have a heart and use their common sense. For three's a crowd, and more, it's treble the expense. Refrain, part 2. We lunch at Maxim's, and her mother comes too. How large a snack seems when her mother comes too. And when they're visiting me, we finish afternoon tea. She loves to sit on my knee, and her mother does too. To golf we started, and her mother came too. 3 bags I carted, when her mother came too. She fainted just off the tee. My darling whispered to me, Jack, dear, at last we're free. But her mother came too. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? That's so wonderfully well written. I love it. That's absolutely beautiful, especially the final one. Her mother fainted, but she came too. Get it? Play on words there. Yes, she didn't come as well. She came too. She came back. She recovered. I think that's hilarious. That's wonderful. Anyway, piece of music itself is not half as exciting as the words, but here it is nonetheless. And her mother came too. Ivor Novello. but her mother came too. That should be sung. That should be sung with someone with what I call a shellac voice. And her mother came too. I know a guy that sings like that. He's. I don't know where I think he learnt to sing listening to 78 RPM records through an earpiece or something. But he sings like that, and he doesn't hold his nose when he do it. But when he does, it's the most hilarious thing you've ever seen in your life. When this guy sings, I used to play in a band where occasionally he would be a guest player in the band, and he would always volunteer to sing a song, and everyone else in the band would go, "Oh Christ, please don't do it." And then actually we thought, well, you know what? Why not? It's getting towards the end of the night. If he sings a song, maybe everybody will bugger off and we can get out early. And we used to send him up to the front, and he would invariably sing some cheesy old jazz song. And he would, here, I have to do the voice. I have to do the voice while I do, but he would get to the front of the stage. He had the most amazing, he had eyebrows that they would catch rain. You know what I mean? He had, I don't know if he curled them, but they sort of went down and then back up in a huge sort of, he looked like something from the Muppets. And he smelt like something that had been in the cupboard in the Muppets for years as well. But anyway, never mind. And he had these huge eyebrows, and he would walk up to the microphone and sort of build himself up. He was a tiny little guy, but he would build himself up, sort of inflate himself. And he wouldn't take the microphone in his hand. He would stand in front of it. I think he thought it was one of those old sort of, those old enormous microphones and an enormous, like a spider in the middle of a spider's web kind of microphone. Remember them? And he would stand in front of this thing and sing. Well, sing is a grossly exaggerated term, but he would sing. He would mouth into this musical device, and the sound would echo around the chamber that we were singing in or playing in, and the audience didn't know whether to laugh, enjoy it. They didn't know what to do. They basically thought he was taking the piss, but he wasn't. That's actually the way he was. And he claimed he had been taught to sing like this. God knows who taught him. Easy money, whoever it was that did teach him, but it must have been hilariously good fun. The teacher must have thought, oh yes, 3 o'clock Friday, he's coming, this is going to be hilarious. Right, let's get here, take this piece of music, right, put this clothes peg in your nose and sing. And off he would go and start singing. But anyway, this would be the kind of piece that he would be doing. It would be one of those kinds of things. But her mother came too. And he had this incredible vibrato and everything else. It was so funny. So funny. Jez M, taking the Mickey. Rhyming slang for Mickey Bliss. Yes, taking the... there you are. Never mind. Anyway, right. On with the show. On with the show. Anyway, so yes, that reminded me of Mr. Shellac. That would be the kind of stuff he should be doing. Let's play a piece of music by the Beatles. Now, this is actually that's the wrong version. I don't want that. I want this version. Yes, there we are. This is more difficult to read. I have a book somewhere in there. Actually, I won't get it and show you because it's such a wonderful piece of book. Let me go and get it. It's wonderful. It's in here, isn't it? Yes, there it is. The cupboards that nobody ever gets to see. The cupboards that I never go into either. This is a wonderful book. This came out a few years ago and I thought I have to have it. So I did. I went and bought it. It's The Beatles, Complete Scores. Now, it's absolute madness. What happened is a bunch of, as far as I know, and then don't quote me on this, but as far as I know, a bunch of Japanese students studied every single Beatles recording and transcribed it in score form. So not just a lead sheet, so not just the melody with chords. They actually wrote it out. So you've got, for example, you've got the main vocal. So whether that was John, Paul, George or Ringo, you've got the main vocal. Then you've got the chorus vocals in harmony. Then you've got all the different instruments. So for example here, the first one in the book is Across the Universe. I'm not going to play that tonight. I don't particularly like Across the Universe. It's not one of my favorites, but never mind, it's a nice tune. But it's here, and they've written out exactly what the guitar played, both in note form and tablature form. They've written what Paul played on the bass, they've written what Ringo played on the drums, and they've got exactly what John sang here, because John sang this one. And they've gone into minute detail on every single piece that the Beatles ever did. It's absolutely wonderful. It's great to study more than anything else. It really is rather wonderful. However, never mind. It's a wonderful thing. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, buy that book. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. It's wonderful. Anyway, and because we're talking about transport today, obviously we have to have Drive My Car. Now, a couple of people requested this. Cam Platt's being one of them, Mark Heta being another one. It's a wonderful piece of music indeed. How are we doing here, by the way? We're not going to have the other organ tonight, by the looks of it. We haven't had another ticket yet. Tut tut, ladies and gents. Maybe you're not interested in other instruments. You only want this. Bum ba dum ba dum dee. What's that? Oh my goodness, I don't know what that is. Anyway, right, where was I? Back to there. Drive My Car. Now, Drive My Car is a fascinating piece of music by the Beatles. Everyone knows it. Drive my car. Boom. Wonderful piece of music. Very, very simple, actually. Not the most difficult piece of music by the Beatles. However, the introduction. The introduction, it's a sort of a guitar solo. George plays a little guitar solo. And things like that. That's all it does, yeah? However, people over the years have tried to decipher what the hell was going on, because if you listen to it, it goes da da and then the tune starts sort of half a beat out of sync, and everyone thinks, hold on a minute, that can't possibly be right. And that isn't right. That's not what they did at all. It's just that there's an upbeat. And everyone gets it wrong. Everybody gets it wrong. Now, I've tried playing it many times, and I get it wrong because you've got it in your mind that it sounds wrong, but it is actually right. Now, a very good guitarist many years ago told me about this. He told me about this introduction, and he went into great detail in a rather boring lecture, but fascinating nonetheless, about how it was deliberately done. Da 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 bam, yeah, and then everything comes in on time. And you sort of think, well, yeah, that's fascinating, but nobody hears it like that. And he was adamant, no, if you listen to it carefully, you can get it like that. And I remember sitting at a piano. He had his guitar, I was sitting at a piano, and we were trying to play it together, and I just couldn't get the rhythm. And he kept counting it out loud for me, and it was working, it was fine, and I would think, yeah, that's fine. And then we would go in to try to play the song all together, and my brain just wouldn't accept it. So I'm not going to play the introduction. I'm just going to get straight into it. It's Drive My Car by the Beatles, and it's a great piece of music. It's actually quite, I don't know, I'm guessing it's going to be quite difficult to play here because the melody is actually the lower voice. Does this make sense? There's two voices. You've got Paul going the whole time, and John's actually singing the melody. He's actually singing the melody as the lower voice, but you can't hear that because I'm playing both. Anyway, I hope it'll work. Let's find out. I can't promise anything, but you'll recognize it, I hope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, my microphone was not on. I do apologize. Why didn't it come on? I pressed the button. Bloody thing. Sorry, folks. Microphone. What was I saying? I can't remember now. Yeah, fascinating piece of music nonetheless, and lots of stories behind it. Everyone assumes it was one of Paul McCartney's stories, and that idea, that groovy sort of thing in there, that this, oh, that must have been Paul McCartney. That sounds so Paul. Well, it wasn't. It was all John. It was all very much John Lennon. This, and the idea behind this one was, you know, it's got that sort of mid-60s kind of Motown groove. Which has got a real raunch to it. However, they decided not to do the like a blues. They went from the other side. They went from the minor, the submediant. Ooh. And then a sort of a completely different non-bluesy ending, which added, you know, it added something to the piece that nobody was kind of expecting. Very, very clever. There's a very old version of it where it was instead of being coming from that minor chord up above, it was yeah. That sounds boring, doesn't it? But this is much better. It's got a more sort of unfinished end to it. You don't know what's happening. What's happening? Why is it doing that? It's moving backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and then bang. It does end. Fascinating stuff. There's a lot more to the Beatles than meets the eye. Some people like to think, oh, it's all very primitive and things. The very early stuff is fairly primitive, but by the time they got here, the Rubber Soul stuff and onwards, it became very, very sophisticated stuff. And right at the end, they went back to basics again. Anyway, I can talk about the Beatles for days and days and days and days and days and days and days on end, and it's wonderful stuff. I love it. I love it. So anyway, yes, let's not dwell too much on that. And let's get back to the music. Now, before the days of automotive transport, before the days of trains, even before the days of all these things, people got about either on foot or on the back of an animal. That animal, preferred animal of choice, being an horse. And of course, there are many pieces of music out there about horses. And earlier today, I received this hilarious piece of music, Ye do not see, which is a slow foxtrot from the Czech Republic once again. And Jiří Traxler, I'm not saying that correctly, but I don't care, composed this wonderful piece of music. And it's sort of, hold on, let me get the translation for you. I have it here in an email. Here it is. The title translates as "Through the Night on My Horse Alone." Oh, and it's got, hold on here, it's a lovely westerny ballad, westerny in inverted commas. It's a western style ballad. There you are. Now you know. And it's a rather cute piece of music. I think it's rather lovely, in fact. And it sounds kind of like this. Now, what makes it sound westerny? Let's see if you can work out what makes it western sounding. See if you can work it out. It's quite obvious when we get to that point. See if you can work it out.
Isn't that cute? Can you see yourself on the back of a horse riding alone through the night with a sort of a someone on a mouth organ doing some stuff in the background? What makes it sound westerny? This that lovely awful combination, that lovely chord progression there, but also da da dee dee da 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 dee dee da da dee dee da da do do. Isn't that cute? I think that's delicious. Thank you so much, Fraser, for sending me that wonderful piece of music. I love it. This is a whole new world of pre-Second World War music from the Czech Republic that is so wonderfully jazzy and cute. Really wonderful. I've found some recordings. Fraser sent me some recordings as well. Of this, you know, all this stuff played by the most amazing big bands, and they are certainly bopping along. They knew what they were doing. Amazing stuff. Wonderful. Yes. Oh my goodness me. Okay, František has just given you the full title there. Jedu noci says, I'm not even going to pretend to be able to pronounce any of that. It's an amazing language, isn't it? Right, how are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? We're getting close to time, but I think we need to have some fun, don't you? What was this? Oh, hold on a minute. What was this? This was Andrew's request. The Freedom Train. The Freedom Train. I like the sound of the Freedom Train. Freedom Train. This is something by our friend Irving Berlin. Let me turn my winky blinkies back on for this one. The Freedom Train. Words and music, Irving Berlin, 1947. All right, so Irving Berlin was getting on a bit. He only died in, when did Irving Berlin die? In the 90s. He was 100 and something years old. He went on forever. And everyone assumes, oh, Irving Berlin, jazz tunes, they will be copyright free, public domain. Not a chance. He's only been dead for about 30 years, so it will take a while. The Freedom Train. Right, this song is a train song. It's a song about a train. I'm reading. Not the Atchison Topeka, not the Chattanooga Choo-Choo. Whoops. Nor the one that leaves at midnight for the state of Alabama. This song is a train song when the engineer is Uncle Sam. Aha, we're getting somewhere. Here comes the Freedom Train. You better hurry down. Just like a Paul Revere, it's coming into your hometown. Inside the Freedom Train, you'll find a precious freight. Those words of liberty, the documents that made us great. Here comes the verse. You can shout your anger from a steeple. You can shoot the system full of holes. You can always question we the people. You can get your answer at the polls. That's how it's always been and how it will remain as long as all of us keep riding on the Freedom Train. Right, I'm not going to read any more of that because we'll get into trouble. But yeah, it sounds a bit cool. It says here, moderato with a lift. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a lift on. Is that a lift? Yeah, that'll do for a lift. And let's see what we can do. It's 2 beats in a bar. So it's a choo-choo number. Here we go. Let's see what this goes like. Okay. There you are. It doesn't do very much, that song, does it? Nonetheless, fun. I like it. I like the fact it goes. Weren't expecting that, were you? Ooh, drive my car, the Freedom Train. Unexpected key changes, unexpected turns. I like that. Fun stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting late. It's getting late. It's about to turn into Monday, so it's time we left the earthly sphere and headed upwards into the universal sphere. Oh God, I can't think of words anymore. It's too late. I can't think of it. And yeah, who knows where travel will take us in the next years, centuries, millennia. Who knows? Will we be around to see these things? I don't know. We will never know. Why did it do that? I didn't do anything. I didn't move my face and it turned pages. Anyway, I'm going to turn this off again now because I don't need to turn pages here. Out there, ladies and gentlemen, nobody knows what's out there. However, back in the 60s, somebody thought they did know what was out there and came up with a wonderful idea. A wonderful idea of intergalactic peace. At least that was the plan. And that person was Mr. Gene Roddenberry with his wonderfully optimistic take on universal life. Of course, he's been proven wrong on many occasions, but some of the ideas behind it would be quite cute, I suppose. Anyway, and the whole franchise started out as a single series television show, and then it turned into an enormous franchise. It's still out there, still doing exciting stuff. And yeah, to have composed the original music, Alexander Courage. Haha, Alexander Courage. Nobody knows Alexander Courage. Who knows that? Now, the original theme from, we're talking about Star Trek, of course we're talking about Star Trek. The original theme, da, dee, da, 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 da. And I sometimes hide that in my bye-bye blues at the end of the concert. But that theme was stolen from a jazz tune called Out of Nowhere. Yeah? Da, 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 dee.
and so on. Yeah, that's the old theme out of nowhere. And this, your man Courage here, Alexander Courage, took that sort of idea and turned it into the original Star Trek theme. Bet you didn't know that. I'm going to play the original Star Trek theme, and then I'm going to link it into something else that you will hopefully recognize. And that will pretty much be it for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see. 4 notes, and you know exactly what's coming. Isn't that wonderful? Da 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 dum. I think those 4 notes, I love those 4 notes. Even just the first one, now you know what's coming, but this one, at the latest, at that point, everyone knows what's coming. And then if you do something, you know what's coming. And then of course I think that little fanfare, I think that's as recognizable as yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? A lot of wonderful science fiction music is so recognizable. How about this? What film was that? That's one of the most recognizable chord sequences in film music history. How about that? That is using, of course, an organ as well, an actual organ. That's an organ we hear regularly these days. Now, it's the organ that's still being used in Hollywood films. It's the organ that's still being played by our friend Aaron Showers. Yeah, don't leave out Lost in Space. The Day the Earth Stood Still. Thank you, Cameron Plants. There you are. Close Encounters was, of course, that. And don't forget, of course, what answered. Don't forget. Remember the original score when the spaceship answered and blew all the screens and things like that. What instrument were they using? I wonder. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's gone midnight, and nope, we didn't reach our 20 target once again, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't quite get there. I do apologize. It's wonderful. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe next week we'll get it. And I want to introduce you to this new instrument. I really do. But I have to tease you into doing it, don't I? I really do. However, nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for this wonderful weekend. I had a wonderful weekend. We had good fun on Friday night. We certainly had good fun tonight. At least I did. I hope you did too. And I look forward to seeing and hearing you and hearing from you all in the coming days and weeks, especially towards the end of the month. At the end of the month, ladies and gentlemen, we've got two very big birthdays to celebrate. On the 27th of March, that's a Wednesday, it's Vanessa's birthday. And we'll be celebrating that with a special concert for Vanessa. But 2 days later, on the 29th of March, it's the first birthday of our beautiful bundle of joy baby daughter. She's going to be 1 year old already. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't believe it's been a year. Wow. Frightening, but wonderful. So yeah, 2 birthdays at the end of the month. So her birthday, the little one's birthday, it'll actually be Good Friday. But of course we'll be having a concert then as well, so that's going to be good fun. And then the Easter weekend, of course, we'll be having some music as well. It's going to be good fun. But yeah, that's going to be fun. A couple of concerts, extra little concerts at the end of the month for our birthday girls. That's going to be good. I'm going to look forward to that. I hope you will join us for that. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You've been listening to, oh, by the way, disclaimer, everything you heard this evening was played live on this instrument by me, my hands, my feet, and other parts of my body that may have been used. No recorded music, no recorded material was used in this feature. Nothing at all. Everything was played live. I have to say that now so that the copyright pirates ignore me. However, tonight, there was so much copyright music tonight, I will probably get caught out for something. However, I'm on top of the copyright pirates. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. I have to say that disclaimer, folks, and I will be saying it every time from now on. Oh boy. Have a wonderful week, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't see you through the week, we'll see you through a window. Tatty bye. Did nobody get that? That wasn't those magnificent men and their flying machines. It was the other one. Monte Carlo or Bust. Yeah, Monte Carlo or Bust. A wonderful film. While we're finishing off, extra points if you can tell me who sung the theme song to Monte Carlo or Bust. Get out your jalopy and polish the wheels of the automobiles. Da 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 da. The Monte Carlo or Bust my suspension, Monte. Who was it? Marlowe or Bust. Answers on a postcard, please. Night night, everybody.